The Nuxalk people of the central British Columbia coast have always been carvers. Their smayustas, or stories, have been told through songs, dances, masks, and totems for countless generations. These old photos of the Nuxalk village show the importance the carvers played not only in the design of their homes, but in the education and culture of each generation.
We believed in our smayustas and our origins. That's where our carvings came from.
Noel Pootlis comes from a long line of carvers and believes the traditions of the Nuxalk people are carried through the songs, dances, and carvings. Noel is a self-taught carver who's been drawing and carving since the early 1990s. He's concerned how the influence of the European settlement affected the art and the traditions of his people, particularly with the decline of carving.
My great-grandfather came from South Benwick, and he was a master carver. His name was Nuxalk. His native. He was a hereditary chief from South Benwick, and my great-grandfather Sam Pootlis is also a carver who made mainly canoes. And in 1950, there were the last 7 canoes made in our reserve was 4 spoon canoes and 3 sea canoes that he had a team of carvers to make. In 1 year, they made 7 canoes. And those were the last real traditional canoes we've had on our reserve, and none has been made ever since.
Because of the control of the government, Noel says he was never taught his culture by his parents.
They never told me anything of any of our culture at all. And it was for the fact that they were in residential schools, and the schools that they went to taught them not to do our language. And for me to say, I don't blame the churches, but I blame the colonization of the Canadian government and the United States government, who banned and outlawed our traditions and assimilated us into the white society and not to live the way we live, because we're put here first by our Father, our Heavenly Father, and He's the one that gave us this land, provided us the land and the territories we live in.
In the early 1980s, Noel's father, Grand Chief Lawrence Pootlis, helped reinstate the potlatch system. He felt this was needed to bring back traditional ways and stop the cultural losses.
There wasn't a potlatch put here for 50 years, as my understanding from the banning of the potlatches, and he was the elders and himself reinstated the tradition back into our community in 1980. And after that, I had a strong interest in our culture, and I never knew that we had dances and songs and masks and regalia.
Today, artists study and remember the traditions and teachings of the past in order to renew a timeless art form.
The way our people did it was the natural communication of our designs, and our traditions were given to us from Al Quantum, Tatao, our father, and the Creator is the one that given us the gifts to do our masks and songs. How I valued my traditions after I had these visions of the masks is that I knew that now that I have opened up to the supernatural visitations of our forefathers, I had visions of longhouses, of thunder masks, of spirit masks, and other types of designs. The last one was an eagle that I had a vision of, and I'm still gonna follow the pattern of our forefathers and make masks for our young people, our potlatches. My goals are now is to keep carving and keep presenting masks to certain young children that are going to go on further and further with the tradition, as the Thunderbird and the Water Thrower, the Ravens, the Eagle dances, the Wolf dances. And it's a must for our people to be following this path as Native people, because we almost lost it through residential school. And I feel that the way that our people now are just coming forward, I can see 50 new artists on this community, 50 to 70 young kids that are learning in both schools to do the carvings and the paintings and the drawings that our forefathers done. And that's the way that we have to keep teaching our children to follow this path. And that young man that I presented that mass to is the reason why I did that, was because it gives strength to the community to follow the traditions. And he'll hand that mask over to his son in 30 years from now. And then it'll still keep following, keep growing, and all these children will continue to do the work that our grandfathers and our ancestors have done.
As the renewal of traditional art and reestablishment of ceremonies, the Nuxalk people strive to teach their children the living traditions of the past. I'm Doreen Manuel, reporting for Northwest Indian News.